All right. How are you all doing? Awesome. Yeah. So it's June, almost. I think half the year's gone. So we're, and it's good to see a large crowd still standing and coming to events like this. So thank you all, and a very warm welcome to all of you at the Austin Startup Meetup. Before I go further, I just want to have a quick raise of hands. Who are new to Austin? Oh, that's great. About 20–30%. Welcome to Austin. And who are all here in Capital Factory for the first time? All right, thank you all. All right, so I usually go through a few things in the course of the event. So those that are new to Austin, and for those that are new to Capital Factory and also this ecosystem, I think this will be a helpful set of resources that I go through, and then we'll go to the main content after that. So, all right, so I'm Suman Poluri, and I've been hosting this event at this meetup for almost 7 years. So it's been a pleasure hosting the Austin Startup Meetup at Capital Factory for so long. And for those that are new to Capital Factory, there's some links on the screen there. For those that are looking to get a membership, you can talk to Elijah at the front desk, or you can email me and I can maybe connect you with a few people at Capital Factory. I don't work for Capital Factory, by the way, but I can connect you with some people at Capital Factory that you may want to talk to if you want to try out the membership. And Capital Factory has co-working spaces. They have a mentorship program. They also are a VC, so they fund startups as well. So you can check more about Capital Factory on their website. And also, there's a couple of newsletters that they do send out. So do sign up to their newsletters, and also if you subscribe to their Twitter channel, they do tweet a lot of things about the events that happen in Austin, and also a lot of programs that startups might take that might be of help to startups in Austin. And so we thank Capital Factory for helping us host our event at this space for a long, long time. And there's thousands of other meetups that also happen in Capital Factory throughout the year. And if you just want to, meet any sort of segment of the startup population, you can just come to Capital Factory and then go to any of those events. There's, events for tech, events for sales, marketing, venture. There's also events, outside of the tech ecosphere as well. I think there's a military command center and other things that are also here. So there's also talks beyond what the normal set of talks you'll be hearing here. And there's also startups in the 16th floor and other floors as well. So you can also get to meet a lot of the people that are building their startups in Capital Factory as well. So overall, a great space to be. And FounderDash is another sponsor, and they're launching this month their first program to help founders build their startups fast and provide the tools to get from 0 to 60 as quickly as possible and be a helping hand. So do check out some updates that will be coming from our side and also from founderdash.com. With that said, the typical agenda is we do a little bit of networking, we go to an intro, and then we talk about a few things, and then go to networking and wrap up. The important thing is that 8 o'clock they close the door, so we'll start wrapping up close to 8:40, 8:45, so we'll have to move out of the room, but we can still connect and network in the lobby beyond that, so the conversations they don't need to stop at 8:45. All right, for those that are new to the startup world or in the startup world but are looking for some resources, I'll go through a few slides. And Sputnik ATX is an accelerator slash a VC firm in a way. They take in they take in startups that are typically high growth and they want to invest in. So they have their summer 2024 program deadline or application deadline for that program on June 25th. And there's also Antler is another kind of like a program for founders where they help pool resources and help them grow their startups. They have an October 2024 program deadline, I think. And JBTVL and ATI, they're part of the UT Austin ecosystem of entrepreneurial programs. Equity free, they don't take any equity of your company, but tremendously helpful programs. So do check them out because they can help your startups in various ways, not like a regular accelerator or incubator program. And Doing and Capital Factory, they have programs throughout the year, so you can look for those programs and apply for those without any. They don't have any specific deadlines or anything like that yet. And for those that are looking for accelerator programs or incubators, there's quite a few accelerator programs here in Austin and beyond, in San Antonio and throughout Texas. A few of them here, Mass Challenge is an equity-free program. They typically open in the first part of the year. Their program has already started, so it's a very well-known accelerator program, so do check it out for the next year if you're planning to apply for accelerator programs, and again, equity-free. Founder Institute is another, which has an Austin chapter, and they also have chapters throughout the world, and they take in companies at every level, so incubator style plus accelerator style, so they take in companies very early in their evolution, plus even like mature startups as well. ATI, we just talked about, part of the UT Austin ecosystem, equity free again. Bunker Labs is focused on startups and veteran founders. So for veterans, I think Bunker Labs has a lot of good programs, so do check them out. Diving focuses on diversity and inclusive initiatives, so they focus on underrepresented founders as well, so they have a lot of initiatives there. And Tarmac, Texas is not doing any program this year, so I'll skip that. SKU is focused on retail and CPG startups. They have a chapter in New York and in Texas, in Austin. So I think their application deadline has just, I think May 31st was their application deadline, I think. It was just over, but you can still talk to any of those people at SKU if you are planning to apply for that. They may take in your application even now. JBTVL, and we talked about that. Sputnik, we talked about that. Techstars Austin, I don't know if they're doing any programs this year in Austin. I think there's been some organizational change in Techstars over the last year or so. I don't know what their current status is, but they do have some remote programs as well as other programs in other parts of the country. And International Accelerator focuses on teams that have founders not based in the US. They help with a lot of the companies or startups coming to US or setting up shop here or moving there, or with their immigration issues and things like that, to help companies move here and build. Oracle Startup, and there's a few other enterprise focused startup programs like Oracle Startup, but they focus more on their ecosystem of companies that the founders can help build solutions for. But those tend to be equity free. So I think Oracle Startup has a program in Capital Factory somewhere. I don't remember which floor they are on. But this is just a small sampling of a lot of other programs that we have in Austin and beyond. Coming to funding, there's a lot of venture capital firms here. I think some said that there were, at last year's count, there were almost 260 VC firms of various sizes in Austin. So a lot of avenues for funding, but then there's also going to be like, their thesis for funding and other things might be different. So you'll have to find the right folks to pursue funding. So there's some big names like Active Capital in San Antonio, Geekdom Fund also in San Antonio, Live Oak Partners in Silverton, and even S3. I haven't listed that here. So those are very active in Austin. CTAN is Central Texas Angel Network. So they have 6 funding cycles throughout the year. Typically every 2 months they have a program that they take startups in for funding. So you can check their website or Twitter channel to see when their next funding round is, and they also typically have an office hours that they do. So you can talk to them, and even if your startup is not fundable, you can still talk to them, and they give some good advice. Alamo Angels is in San Antonio. Quake Capital is also in Austin. Beam Angel Network used to be focused on female-founded startups, but they're not active anymore. I think they changed their focus onto just helping female founders, I believe. I don't know what their next evolution is, so you can also check them out on their website. And again, there's more. An easy Google search will find you all those. And for people that are new to the startup world, I mean, those that haven't heard about AngelList and F6S, I mean, those are places where you can find a lot of information about startups. And also, I think I would say even Crunchbase and PitchBook will also be kind of like in that same bracket of like providing information about startups around the world. LinkedIn, almost everyone knows, a good place to find potential partners or teammates, or even like even for B2B marketing in a way. It's becoming more and more useful, although there's a lot of spamming going on there. But that's LinkedIn, and then there's also 2 Facebook groups, Austin Digital Jobs and Austin Tech Volunteers. So those are 2 Facebook groups where you can post jobs in tech, or look for jobs in tech, and also volunteership opportunities in tech if you want to post or look for them. Aside those, I mean, we also have a few meetups that are focused on startups and networking and other things. So I highly recommend a few of them, like TechMap Co-Founders Meetup, and also there's something called Fiesta. A lot of you may have already attended those 2. So great meetups to go to. So I mean, for people that are new to Austin, I would say meetups are kind of like the best way to meet like-minded great people that you want to grow your network here with. And then Y Combinator has a free online 10-week program, I believe. I don't know if they're still 10-week program, but it used to be a 10-week program, but it's online and free. You can post your startup's progress there, and also get access to a lot of great resources, and also their forum, which is very active, and also it helps get visibility when you apply for their regular programs, the YC programs in the future. Aside, I mean, keeping those aside, I think there's a few other like startupinfomatters.com, acceleratetexas.co, some local informational websites for startups and the the other things here. And Hacker News and Indie Hackers are where you find a lot of news and other information that people share in the world. All right, so I don't know what that is. Okay. All right, so I know a lot of people here may be working in startups or building their own startups. A quick show of hands, I mean, how many are already running their own startup? All right, quite a few, okay. Who is looking to build a startup, maybe working on a side project or idea but haven't launched yet? Okay, that's good. Awesome. So I know all of you are going through various phases of your startup, and building startups is hard, or building any company is hard. So if you need any help or any assistance, spreading the word, or looking for people, or getting some traction in terms of like hiring or other things, just drop a word. I mean, there's a lot of people here in the room, plus also in the meetup group, about 5,000 people in the meetup group. So there could be someone that might be interested in either teaming up with you or helping you with some problem that you may be facing. So just don't be shy. Just send out a word, and I'll share it with the group. Or you can also network with other people in here, and they can spread the word as well. So we typically meet the first Monday every month. Next month we may change the first Monday because it's close to July 4th. So other than that, I mean, if you have any specific topics of interest that you want us to bring on speakers to talk about, let us know. We've already in the past brought a lot of speakers that talked on startup law, patents, the venture funding, and bootstrapping, and all these things as well. And we also have some experts in the room too. I mean, a lot of you may have expertise in various things that you do at your jobs. So there's also people that you have here that can also help you with a lot of things. So let us know what you want, and we'll try to get you the help you need. So I'll skip these first two, and then I'll just go to the ecosystem. So I'll talk about the ecosystem. I think for people that have attended the last event, we did talk about a few things on the state of the Austin ecosystem for the startups. And so I'll go through a few slides of where the Austin ecosystem stands today, and what we may think, or where we may think it may go in the next maybe year or so. So we have about 4.5. I don't know if that's like a registered a set of companies on certain sites, but there's more than 4,500 startup companies in Austin, and there's about like 2,500 plus funded startups, funding at various stages, and the funding in the Austin ecosystem has been growing quite rapidly. I mean, you have seen the graph there. I think 2021 it has already touched 5 billion. 2022 also 5 billion, and I think 2023 also was more than 5 billion. The figure there hasn't been updated on Austin Chamber of Commerce website, so I couldn't pull the latest figures, but it has been trending upwards of $5 billion of funding. And just this first quarter, there's been like quite a few big investments into companies, which, I said like 2023 here, but it's 2024. First quarter, Ninja One, Harbor Health, there's Under, and Serenity, which all raised large amounts of money. And also, there's some big investments that were closed in the late part of 2023 as well. So overall, the ecosystem's funding and venture capital scene seems to be very trending very healthy. And speaking of health, I mean, the health and energy sectors have received the most funding in 2023. So if you're a health tech or energy related startup, you're in a good place right now. And enterprise software and transportation also have topped the charts in 2023. I think 2022 real estate was also, or real estate and the related tech was also in the top 3 or so, but I think it has cooled down a little bit. Fintech was always being there in the top 5 to 6. So overall, a good, healthy ecosystem there. And then, for subsegments where they've seen most VC investments, at least this is so far in 2024, semiconductor, mobility, and space, they've topped the charts. But then there's also a lot of other, other companies, and like in the health and energy, as I said, like still getting more and more investments too. So, and coming to the overall combined enterprise value of Austin startups, I mean, it's gone over $100 billion in 2023. So it's trending higher, and we're only going to see more companies coming out with bigger values and valuations in the coming future. And there's, as I said, like there's a lot of VC firms and angels here in Austin, and there's currently about 400 investors headquartered in Austin, and that have been part of at least one recorded investment round in the last 10 years. So that's quite a good sign. But again, I think for people that are asking whether, compared to the Bay Area or other places, whether the Austin scene is as good as that, I would say, I mean, realistically, no. It's a little more conservative than Bay Area or the Boston side of investment capacity, but still I would say in a good shape. And yeah, you can see here, I mean, the text is quite small, but Austin is one of the top 10 in the US in terms of investments, with Bay Area, New York, and LA, those topping the US ecosystems. All right, so with that said, what we'll do is, like typically, we go through some informational things like this, and then we also go to lightning pitches. So why not, right? I mean, there's a lot of people working on startups here, so many want to kind of like come and share what they do. So what we'll do is like we'll go through, we'll pick one from each area, and then we'll just go round robin and see who all want to come and do a quick short pitch of what their startup does. And we'll keep it to maybe 2 minutes, or I would say 5 minutes of pitch at the max, 2 minutes or 3 minutes of them talking and then answering a few questions for the rest of the time. And one thing I would request all of you is that we all come together and attend all these events because we're all in the startup world or are interested in the in building great companies. So we all want to see good companies and good startups come out of Austin. So when someone comes here and talks about a product or service or even an idea that they want to build on, I would say if there's an app or a product or service, just give it a try. Either download it or sign up to it, give it a try. If you like it, great. I mean, give some feedback to the founder and spread the word within your professional or personal circles. If you don't like it, that's fine. I mean, that's still good. Still give some feedback to the founder because the founders do need bad feedback as well. I mean, not just positive things. So give them some constructive feedback, even if you don't like it, and tell them why you don't like it, so they can improve upon that. And at this time, early stage startup founders, at least, I mean, the big oxygen for them is the feedback. I mean, of course, money is always good, but outside of money, I think feedback is the one good thing that they can take and build upon. So, as I said, like when people come here and talk about their things, I mean, if you have like if you're active on social media and things like that, yeah, do tweet about them. Do I don't know what they call them, X about them, or if you're still on Facebook, I mean, I don't know how many are, but share about them on the Facebook or other circles as well, or maybe on Instagram or TikTok, wherever you want. So more people can know about what they're building. More people can know about their products, ideas, and services too. So with that said, what we'll do is like we'll sweep through the room, one section by section. So we'll pick one each, and then we'll round robin and see who wants to come here and talk about their products and services. And again, like some people may be very early stage and they might think, I mean, my idea is, or my product is not worth talking. I mean, no one's gonna say bad things about your product. We all are here to give some feedback and encourage, we're on the same board, right? So we want to get some good feedback ourselves, and we want to provide some good feedback. So don't be shy. Do come here, even if it's early stage, or even if it's like doesn't sound good in your mind. I mean, just come and share the word, and then you'll get some good feedback, so you can maybe even work on better things. I mean, if you don't want or if you don't like that. So all right, so we'll see. Okay, there's also already one hand there, so Florin will start, and then we'll start with Florin, and then we'll come to you next, and then we'll sweep the room here. So this side of the room, we'll have Florin first to talk about his idea or his product.
How you doing, lovely people? Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Constantin Florin Murariu. I am from Transylvania in Romania. All the legends are true. I'm a true vampire. Take that light away. No, I'm joking. I'm not here to do stand-up, though. I'm a full-time founder, and that means I quit my job, which is kind of scary. So, by show of hands, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you find ads annoying or irrelevant? That gentleman over there with 2 hands, love that. Okay, so I've been a marketer all my life. I've worked in digital ads for the past 12 years, and I fully agree. Ads have become obsolete and annoying. But they're not going anywhere, do they? They're still an industry, but they're always going to be. So what we decided to do was to create fair ads. Fair ads puts you in control. As a user, you select your true interests wherever you are in the market to buy, and then you only get those ads. This is just the first step in our development plan. The app is live. We have over 100 users in the App Store. If you want to test it, let me know what you think. I would really appreciate it. It's Fair Ads app in both iOS and Android. The next step, which we're working on right now, is the influencer marketplace, where influencers can post and get in contact with the advertisers directly. Being an advertiser, I know when you're in-house, it's easier to cut your hands off than to get to the right influencer at the right time. And the last step in our vision is to be the go-to audience network in the metaverse, Web3, call it however you want. Thank you for your attention. I would really appreciate any kind of feedback on the app. And after we have the influencer marketplace ready, we will be looking to raise our first round. We're fully bootstrapped right now. Thank you. This is me. Now, Suman, if I may. Now, this is still me. I told you I quit my job. I started an agency. I've launched Disney Plus. I've worked on ads all my life. So if anybody needs ads or content or creative support or just consultancy, if you don't get along with your agency, I can mitigate that. Thank you. Thank you, Suman. Yes, questions? Questions? Going once, going twice. Yes, the gentleman in the back.
Great idea. I had a question about how do you plan to address the evolving needs of consumers, which is my interest would change from season from time to time.
Yeah, the true interests are at your disposal fully. You can customize them and you can change them every single time. I don't expect you to be in the market for a car your entire life if you're in the market right now. So every single time you log in, you get the option to edit your true interests. Thank you. Yes, please. It's an app. Right now it's an app. It's the incipient version. That's why I say it's Fair Ads app. It's really on the nose. It's an app that you download, you have it on your phone. You scroll through ads, you scroll through news, you scroll through influencer content, and a few other things. Right now, we're focusing partially on the cryptoverse with the bull market knocking on our doors. Yes, ma'am. It's separate. It's outside of the existing ecosystem, and that allows us actually, after January of next year, to still be able to attribute one-to-one on sales online, because cookies are going away January of next year, and all the advertisers are going to be up the creek without a paddle, not being able to report on sales, and we'll be one of the few, if not the only. I'm not going to say the only, though, because I don't know what other people build. One of the few platforms that will be able to report one-to-one on online sales driven by ads, which is the core of e-commerce, in a way, give or take. Thank you, lovely people. It's been an honor and a privilege to speak to you today. Suman, thank you for doing this. You, sir, are an inspiration. And if I may say one last thing, you organized the best pre-South by Southwest pitches. I've participated in another presentation recently. I'm not going to say which one. And you, sir, were way more organized than anybody else. Thank you.
Really appreciate that. Thanks. Thanks, Florian. So we have our next person to pitch here.
Hey guys, I'm Roland Rangel. I actually have a service more than anything. If you go to Instagram or Vimeo, it's Rangel Media LLC. I'm a commercial videographer, and so I know what it's like to need marketing. Some of my clients are Michael's, the arts and crafts store, Banter, they're part of the Zales K Jewelers family, JCPenney's, La Madeleine, things like that. I have worked with somewhat of a startup, a nonprofit. I just moved back here from Dallas to help. When I was in Dallas, I helped put on a 3-day art festival. It was their first year. They invited me to be the marketing director. We had 80,000 people come out the first year. This year, we had 110,000 people come out, confirmed on the low end, but they really think it's more 130,000. So I know what I'm doing. If you guys need any help at all with marketing, I know what it's like to be a small business getting started. So I try to have rates that are favorable. So you can find me, Rangel Media LLC, and feel free to keep in contact and reach out to me after this. Thanks.
Thank you. And we'll go through this section to see if anyone wants to. Oh, there's one. Yes, sir. Come on.
Thank you so much. So hey guys, my name is Zane Stewart. I am the director of sales for a company called Lead Nitro. I co-founded it with a couple of my friends from the University of Texas at Austin. And essentially what our sales software does that we're trying to sell and promote is it automatically will help companies find sales leads for them to then pursue and try and get some revenue generated from them. And also, our platform also writes outbound email content as well, automatically through a combination of ChatGPT-4, as well as our own machine learning and large language model algorithm that we've developed. And lastly, it also logs all of its activity that it's doing on your behalf into your record management software system like Salesforce or HubSpot. And currently, this is my second time coming and doing this pitch in front of everybody, but last month, whenever I came here for the first time, I was really nervous. I didn't know, I've never done anything like this before. I'm not really, super business savvy, but we were at 7 clients before last month, and now we're at 17. So, for you guys, thank you. Appreciate it. So right now we're working with any, company, large or small, for free for 60 days to show them how our software works, let you guys try it. And if you like it, great, keep working with us. We're working with plenty of you guys locally in Austin as well. We're an Austin-based startup too. So please feel free to meet up with me, connect with me on LinkedIn after this. I'd love to answer any questions about the software and see if we can work together. Yeah.
Quick question: if your company's or your client's ICP changes throughout the engagement, how does your software kind of accommodate for that?
That's a really great question. We work with a variety of different industries, and the way that it changes is, let's say I need to reach out to a director of sales one day, but maybe I need to change to a director of marketing, or even find out that somebody in product development is a better target. What our platform does is, over time, the more engagement we get off of leads, we basically rate leads and successful email content from a score of 0 to 100. So over time, as the needs change with your business and with your ICP, those scores are going to adjust on the platform to match the leads that you need and the email content that would be best fit for your business. So yeah.
So I have a laundry service that in Austin. I'm the same similar question. When it comes to sales, that's not the biggest thing. It's me and her with, we work together, but I need someone to help me with leads. So I can sign up with you, and how would it work in a service-based industry, like company? Because I'm focused on small business owners, and in that sense, how would it benefit? Because it sounds awesome, people need leads, so how does it work?
Awesome. Well, I would say, yeah, you can definitely go on our website. It's leadnitro.ai to sign up. But we work with product and B2B companies that for range in services and product. And so I would say, let's maybe meet up after this. We can talk. I can introduce you to my CEO and my CTO and figure out kind of the best customers that you would want to get for your business. So, any other questions? No? All right. Thank you guys so much. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry? It is a Lead Nitro. Lead Nitro. LEADNITRO. And then, did you have a question? All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
So, Fair Ads, Lead Nitro, and what was the name of your business, sir? Rangel Media LLC. So do make a note of these things. And again, as I said, do check out their products, services, or websites, and then give feedback, and also try to spread the word as well. So let's see. Any other people from here that want to pitch? No? Let's go this way. Oh, there's quite a few. We'll start from here. Yes, sir.
Hi, everyone. My name is Abbas Khan. I'm the owner of Longhorn Laundry. We are a mobile laundry and dry cleaning pickup and delivery service. And I'm here actually as a first-time pitcher. I've never pitched my company, but with my company, what I do is as simple as it sounds. For residential, commercial, I do same-day pickup and delivery for laundry and dry cleaning. So whether you're in the massage business, any business that does laundry, I'm the only company in Austin. I've done my research. When it comes to pickup and delivery, I pick up anywhere from all the way to Kyle and Buda, to Georgetown and Round Rock, to Bee Caves and to East Austin. And I offer same-day pickup and delivery 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. And the thing I'm trying to pitch, and I need help with, is my company is ranked 5 stars. I mean, I have 72 5-star reviews on Google. I've been in business, I'll say, since 2023. So I have the reviews. I have the Yelp reviews. What I'm looking for is small businesses that can talk about my services or even use my services and leave me reviews and help me build in Austin, because I've looked at my competitors, and the biggest thing I see in this is there's no customer service aspect of the other businesses. I've worked in the industry since 2019, before I started my own businesses, and the businesses I worked for, if you look at their reviews, you get the few 5-star reviews, but then most of it is negative, and customers still continue to go to those kind of businesses. So I'm trying to understand how I can bring customers just on my reviews. Because you might not see me, you might not, but you can go to Google and type in my company or type in laundry services near you. And I'm trying to fix my SEO so that when you type it in, my 5-star rated company comes up first. As it should. I'm not sponsored, I don't pay for ads. I got genuine reviews, and I'm trying to understand how to build those genuine reviews to become the top laundry and dry cleaning service in Austin. I want to I'll be honest, I want to be the #1 rated service in Austin. That's why I called myself Longhorn Laundry. I base it off of, University of Texas. If anyone here went to University of Texas, I support the school. I also support Westlake High School. I'm a direct sponsor, and I'm just looking to expand and take over Austin. That's my ultimate goal. And I'm focused on small businesses as well. I'm a small business, and I want to help small businesses continue to grow. So if laundry is a need for you in your small business, dry cleaning, whether you go to meetings, if you want dry cleaning from a reputable company, I back it up with my reviews. I back it up with my turnaround time. And simply Google and go to my Yelp page. And if you want to try it out, I offer discounts so that I can bring customers in, and I'm looking for small businesses. So if you know a massage client, if you know a friend who does towels all the time or owns a business that does, have them reach out to me. My company is called Longhorn Laundry. I'm going to give out my business card, but as simple as it sounds, when you Google it, you'll see my company. I appreciate this, and if anyone has questions, please feel free to ask. And if not, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. Perfect. That's great. All right. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah.
So what do you use for outreach to your existing customers?
Say it again.
What do you use for outreach for your existing customers? Communication channel that you use regularly?
So honestly, right now I'm texting. I communicate with customers. I do customer service. I do everything right now, literally. So I'm trying to build a team, but I love interacting with customers one-on-one. And I've been told I might have to, automate that. And personally, I don't like the automated aspect of customer service. And that's what, I want to keep that role at least. And, I'm also marketing. I love to market. So if anyone here is in marketing and is really good at it, I would love to talk to you because that's all I do. But I know there's aspects of where I can improve and, help me out. I'll help you out. And, that's why I'm here. I appreciate the question. So, and this was great. I appreciate this. I'll continue to come. So thank you.
All right. So that's Longhorn Laundry. And then I think you're looking for SEO. And are you looking for SEO help as well? SEO help? Oh, okay. So anyone that knows SEO or has contacts to people that know SEO, I know there's also a couple of marketers here too. So if you want to talk to them, but yeah, I mean, if you have any connections that can work with him, I mean, just forward those connections to him. That's what we're here for, to support each other and help everyone grow great businesses. So awesome, thank you. So there's 2 more hands. Okay. Oh, okay. So you want to come first, and then we'll come here. Okay, and then you too. Yeah.
Hey everyone. So my name is Shiv. I come from New Delhi, India. I've been working at Amazon for the last 7 years. And recently I quit my job to start an e-commerce company. I basically am building a company called ShipMaestro. And it's at the intersection of e-commerce, logistics, and technology. If any of you are an e-commerce brand over here, you would find managing your own logistics as the most complex and stressful part of building your business. I mean, nobody builds an e-commerce business to get into the warehousing business. They get into the business to be a marketer, a creative person, or in sales. So I solve that pain point for e-commerce brands. So e-commerce brands are my customers, and I provide them services and products. So services aspect of it would be making sure that they're able to get their inventory from overseas or within US on time using transportation services, warehousing the products using solutions like inventory management, order management, and other aspects to make sure that they have a full visibility into their profitability as well as how much inventory they have in-house. And on the product side, I'm trying to use my background at Amazon. I was in the data field, so I'm trying to use the consolidation of supply chain data that e-commerce brands collect and use it to make better decisions. Better decisions being having better clarity on when should they replenish their inventories, when should they stop giving out products on sales because they're already having a good sales velocity. and things of that nature. So this was my first time pitching this, sharing it with a larger crowd. Been doing this for 2 months, and I appreciate everyone listening. I'd love feedback if you guys have any. My website is shipmaestro. That's shipmaestro.com. Any sort of feedback, website, product, service, anything of that nature would be helpful. Thank you, guys.
Any questions?
Yes.
Is your suite efficiency or is it workflow as well for small companies?
It's a combination. So if I understand your question, it's efficiency or like workflow. So we manage the workflow for an e-commerce brand from start to end, which is you kind of decide where you're getting your product from, and we put in services for transporting it, warehousing it, and fulfilling it to the last mile, which is dropping it to your customer's address. And then I think your next question was efficiency, like.
I assume the product is, you said it helps get your products on time.
Uh-huh.
That's the efficiency part. I was just asking about the workflow. One suggestion, in the early stage companies that I always work with, depending upon if it's telehealth, you're calling pharmacies all the time. Who knows what? You might partner with a company that is sourcing for early stage companies. There's some synergy with what you do there. Great presentation.
Awesome. Thank you.
Do you do drop shipping as a service, or do you do sourcing, warehousing, and shipping as in fulfillment as a service?
Yeah, fulfillment as a service is a good term for it, other than sourcing everything else. So the brands that I work with, they source their own products. I help them get it to the warehouse and then to the last mile of the customer delivery. As you'd know, like in today's world of e-commerce, like fast delivery is a big aspect. People make decisions based on how fast you can get to it, and I help them efficiently do that, and how fast they can do that. And Austin is a great place for that. I moved here from Seattle for the same reason, because Austin is central to US, so you can kind of get to, like the stat says that 90%, 99% of zip codes can be reached from Austin in 2 days. Different carriers. So like the software that I'm building is going to optimize for rates. So for example, if you're shipping from here to Seattle, UPS might be a cheaper service. But if you're shipping from here to New York, FedEx might be a better service. So your daily carriers that we all work with, those are for my last mile deliveries. Then I have then we are trying to create like network of transportation companies, like much less known, but where we as a company can get better rates and transfer them to e-commerce brands.
Any other questions?
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
I know why the question came from him regarding transportation. He runs a transportation startup. So if you want to share your startup as well, yeah, you can.
Thank you so much. Good evening. My name is Gabriel. I'm with Dispatch IT. It's a TMS software, so it's a transportation management system for trucking companies. And the reason why I started this software is because I have a trucking company with over 100 trucks right now, 117 trucks over the road. We go all 48 states. And when I started this software, I didn't find something easy to use and exactly made by truckers for truckers. And right now, we have the product, we have a team working on it, we have quite a few customers testing it and giving us feedback. And I'm here looking for more carriers to test our software and to give us feedback. I'm looking also for customers, like the guy that just talked, because in this industry, the problem is the brokers, and because of them, they take most of the money, and we need to use just the pennies. So I'm looking for any businesses that want to ship anything, all 48 states, from the simple loads to the most complicated hazmat and oversized loads. We do all kind of stuff. And thank you so much.
What's the name of the company? Dispatch IT? DOXA. DOXA is the trucking company, and then the software is Dispatch It. Thank you. And I know you have someone to talk to, so they can include you in the transportation workflow and loop as well. So, yes, sir, do you want to come?
Hello. So, is anybody going on a summer vacation? Can you raise your hand? All right. Is it anybody going to like anywhere in Europe, like a French-speaking country, Italian? Raise their hands. Anybody going to India for vacation? I don't know. Is it a good time to go to India in the summer? Nobody's going to India? All right. Well, my name is Mark, and I started a company called Vida Lingua a few years ago, and we do language learning software. So our apps have been downloaded by about 15 million people, which is kind of a lot. But for a long time, we did mostly like utility apps, like translators, dictionaries, verb conjugators, flashcards, stuff like that. And I was kind of intimidated by Duolingo. Anybody heard of Duolingo? Oh. All right, well, I'll tell you something about Duolingo that you probably don't know later. But I was intimidated by Duolingo, and then one day I downloaded it, and I was playing with it, and like an hour or two later, like all I could do was like know like simple vocabulary like apple, banana, man, woman, I don't know, stuff like that. And I thought, wow, this doesn't really resonate with me. I just want an app where like I'm going to France this summer or somewhere else, and I want to learn how to say simple phrases to people, communicate with people, maybe meet some people, but you know, get myself through the airport and stuff like that. So we came up with an app called Lingity, and versions of it which are called things like Learn Spanish Plus, Learn French Plus, and it's all about getting you conversational as quickly as possible. So ideally within a few minutes. So you start off learning like greetings, which is the first thing you're going to use in a country, but then it kind of steps you through a chronological series of lessons that you would use if you were going to that country. So getting through the airport, taking a taxi, taking the subway. So lessons on that, you know, with phrases that you'd use in those different scenarios. And then we throw some curveballs in there just to keep it interesting. So we've got taking a taxi, taking the subway, taking the metro, and then we've got taking a limousine. You might want to take a limousine, right? So you want to have some phrases to know when you're taking a limousine. Then we have, you know, things like hotels, accommodations, going to a restaurant, going to a pub, all that stuff. We have lessons that are fun and intriguing on like romance. We have a lesson on pickup lines, but we also have a lesson on rejection lines. That's the only app in the world that has a lesson on rejection lines. We have a lesson on making friends, and we also have a lesson on making enemies. And I was the one who made that lesson, and it's really hard to figure out what phrases to learn to make enemies. Can anybody guess one or suggest one? What's a phrase that you could use to make an enemy? All right, I'll give you one. Are you pregnant? That could end up becoming an enemy. So my ask of you tonight is to help me to compete against Duolingo. We're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good. We're on version 3, and this is the first version where we're seeing like an uptick in revenue and downloads. So the name of the app is Vida Lingua, Vidalingua, Vida Lingua. That app is only available for iOS. I would really appreciate it if you download the app. You'll see a bunch of apps in there, but they're the ones with the little meerkat or the dolphin logo. Again, Vida Lingua. And then if you could either give me feedback, that would be great. It would be even greater if you gave me a 5-star rating and maybe a review. But if you don't think it's worth it, that's fine too. Just give me feedback. Don't rate it, just give me the feedback. Today in the App Store, to have a successful app, you really have to have apps that have rating, reviews, of 4.7 and above. So just keep that in mind, like with your businesses and stuff like that in your apps. So you don't want 4-star reviews, that'll drag you down. You have to get 5-star reviews and above, but you have to, you know, play fair. And if people don't think it's worth 5 stars, just ask them to give you feedback. So I've gotten something else I'll offer up to anybody who helps me out with a rating or a review or feedback. So I've gotten to 15 million downloads without any investors, with no full-time employees, just freelancers, and without spending excessive money on marketing. I basically do blogging and social media. So if you help me out with a review, I'll tell you some secrets on how to do that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, on the phone, that's going to be tricky. I mean, our bread and butter are translator apps. So we have an app called Spanish Translator Plus, but that requires you to, it has 3 modes. Like you can type in the text, you can read it in. So theoretically, you could put the phone up to the app, and you could say speak slowly and loudly, and it would translate it. Or you could do like image translation. So you could try that. But honestly, if they're on the phone and you're trying to, you know, it's going to be tough. But okay, here's one thing. Here's how to build up your SEO. Sorry, didn't mean to. You know, with SEO, you really have to blog. You can't just build up SEO on your product pages, because 99% of the people are going to come for your blog. So you could have a blog with typical questions in Spanish and English for laundry. I don't know what you'd call it. You know, you could, you know, yeah, you could call it like, what questions to ask your laundromat if you speak Spanish and they don't. And then, you know, and that's the type of thing that draws people in. And you could send people to that page and be like, hey, can you go to our website and tell me if, you know, the answer to your question is there? Yes?
I'm curious, why is it structured as a dozen different apps?
It's an excellent question, and it's a secret that I'll give you as to how I got to 15 million downloads without having $15 million to play with. Because I realized early on that when you go to the App Store and you're looking for an app, you don't look for language app, right? What do you look for? Somebody tell me. Spanish, right, or Spanish app, right? And so, I got time here? Or at least, okay, so when you go into the App Store and you type in Spanish, what comes up in the autocomplete? What would you guess comes up in the autocomplete? Spanish translator, Spanish dictionary, and learn Spanish. What are my apps called? Spanish Dictionary Plus, Spanish Translator Plus, Learn Spanish Plus. So I reversed engineered the searches people were doing, split it up into lots of different apps, and that, you know, has been one reason that I've been able to get tons of downloads. Now I'm actually, because I've been doing this for years, I'm kind of going in the other direction. So I'm rolling up some of these apps into one major app like Lingity. Lingity is actually aggregating all of the Learn Spanish Plus, Learn French Plus, Learn Italian Plus into one app. But nobody's going to be like, hey, I'll search for Lingity, because they haven't heard of it, because I can't advertise on the Super Bowl, you know? But I'm using those feeder apps to get people to download Lingity. Yep.
Quick question on how you maybe garner engaged success metrics aside from just user engagement.
How I what? Garner and gauge. You know, I don't spend a huge amount of time with metrics, to be honest, and analytics. I can get some of them from like Apple, from the app stores. You know, I have like implemented stuff like, you know, that would give me a lot of metrics, and honestly, I don't use them. So I don't spend a lot of time there. I spend most of my time on the app itself, like in a loop, a design loop with the developers. I spend lots of time, you know, with bloggers, writing blog articles. One thing that has been incredibly useful is I will sit down with the app, I'll just put it in front of somebody and I'll say, use it. If you don't understand something, say stop and explain, or you see something interesting, you want to explain it to me. If I see you do something bizarre that I don't understand, I'm going to say stop, explain it to me, and that's it. I just watch them use the app, and that has just been like mind-blowing. Just, I mean, you know, the key to app success is that first minute or those first 10 seconds. Like in the first 10 seconds, people hesitate. You know, even if they hesitate, even if you give them like 2 choices and they hesitate, that's it. You know, you're toast. So, you know, you really have to like give them as few choices as possible at the beginning. Anyway, so that for me, you know, I know some stuff. I know like from support that a lot of people who buy our premium upgrades are actually older people, like 40s, 50s, 60s. And strangely enough, I've noticed in libraries, like if you go into any library, like after 6, 7 o'clock, all the rooms, like the rooms, it's all retired people learning languages. So they're the only people that'll pony up like 20, 30, 40 bucks for apps. Students, high school students and college students, they're all going to download your app, but they're just going to use the free version forever, and they're never going to pay for it. But I probably could have figured that out from the analytics. I don't know. I just sort of, I have spent some time, but not a lot. All right.
Thank you. So that's Lingidi is the overarching app, and then Vida Lingua is the app that. Okay, Vida Lingua. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. And let's see. There's one more. Okay. We'll go to the person next and then come to you. Okay.
Hi, I'm Raja. How many of you use a Keurig or Nespresso machine to make your coffee? Yeah. So what if, let's say, you had a similar machine to make your food day in, day out? Anywhere, anytime, right? Think of the replicator machine you would have seen on Star Trek. Any Star Trek fans? So that's what we're building. We've built a product called Zook. It's a kiosk the size of a fridge that could make and serve any fresh food bowl across cuisines. And we're deploying these at places where you would typically want to have a cafeteria, but for some reason, the footfall or let's say the number of the head count or something doesn't make it possible to have a cafeteria. These include places like hospitals, offices, airports in certain shifts, and multiple other locations, budget hotels, etc. Right? We currently have a bunch of customers who could give us access to over 1,400 locations across the country. We're just going live with the first location shortly. We've completed a few pilots, and we have an open house this Friday at our office, which is close to Domain. Would love to invite you all if you could make it on Friday evening, 6 p.m., close to Domain. And would love to take your feedback on how the experience is, right? I could scan this QR code to RSVP. I could also I mean, if you'd like to get this link, just walk up to me and scan it. And one ask from everyone. While we've understood the use cases around workplaces, hospitals, and retail chains, there are multiple other kinds of locations which might benefit from having this kind of a product. Would love to hear about other use cases, if you guys could think of anything. And would like to double click on those use cases to see how we could fit this product to those segments. Yeah. Right. So most of the products in Japan that offer, let's say, automated food vending are prepackaged food, either served as is or just passed through a microwave and served, right? These are all prepackaged food bowls. What we've built is more like a Chipotle front of the counter or Sweet Greens front of the counter or a Panda Express front of the counter, where everything is put together to your order, respecting your preferences. If you're vegan, if you're, let's say, allergic to peanuts, if you're allergic to seafood, those could all be taken care of. If you want it more spicy, less spicy, You don't want a certain dressing substituted with another dressing. You could do all of that. It works just like a live counter that you walk up to, like Chipotle, Freebirds, Panda Express. Sorry, I will just need a power socket. No, everything else is inbuilt. Yeah. It's used in shared facilities where it makes sense to stock up ingredients and let a lot of people consume the food. It's more like, let's say, a mini version of a restaurant. Sweet Greens has this thing called Outposts, which go into offices. You could think of it as, let's say, the equivalent of Outposts for every restaurant chain. And we're called Zook, Xook.io, Zook.io. You could check out our website, and if any of you could make it on this Friday, I would really appreciate your time and feedback. We're doing a demo. Yeah.
You mentioned allergies. I was kind of curious about how do you handle cross-contamination? Let's say that on your machine you're managing seafood or peanuts. How do you avoid that cross-contamination to go to other bowls?
Right. So a lot of times if you walk into a restaurant, cross-contamination happens at 2 stages. One at the back of the kitchen, the second is at the front of the kitchen. So we cannot still avoid the cross-contamination that could have happened at the back of the kitchen. That's one of the reasons we don't promise that as one of the core value props yet. But at the front of the kitchen, the most common reason cross-contamination happens is because someone takes something in a ladle, puts it here, and then maybe puts the same ladle into another ingredient, or touches something and then touches something else. We have these canisters. Think of these like printer cartridges. A printer has a black cartridge and color cartridges. Similarly, we have canisters that have different ingredients. And the ingredients from each of these canisters goes directly into a certain consumer's bowl. So there's no possibility of cross-contamination within the kiosk. That said, we still don't promise it because we don't know how diligent our supply chain at the back of the kitchen has been. So we would still take some time before we could, let's say, expose that as a value prop. Yeah. Right now we've done, so we aren't a food company. We are a robotics as a service company. We work with other food service partners. So it's left to the food service partner to pick the dishes. We have a platform where people could drag, drop, create a recipe, and that recipe could be served by this kiosk, right? So far we've served everything from salad bowls, Asian curry rice bowls, biryanis, Mexican burrito bowls, Mediterranean bowls, you name anything that, pastas, you name anything that goes in a bowl, that's probably been served by us. Granola bowls, right? Everything. Right. Right. Yeah, when someone replenishes the ingredients, they also set the expiry time for the ingredient. So this ensures that the machine could stock out those ingredients once the expiry time is hit, or any dishes that depend on that ingredient would also get stocked out. This ensures HACCP compliance automatically, which is a hard thing to comply with. So essentially, in terms of food safety, it takes a lot of effort for a food service company to comply with these aspects. They put in these labels, write down when it's expiring, right? And then someone has to make sure that they don't stock it up at the front of the counter. All those misses don't happen with our system, which a lot of our partners love. Yeah. Yeah. So we are a food distribution platform, much like Keurig, but for food. If you look at Keurig, it's not just a coffee making machine. It's a distribution platform for Starbucks, Karibo, Peet's, everyone, to take their freshly ground coffee to the consumers without the freshness going down and providing a certain quality of experience. We offer that as a platform to every food service brand out there or every food service company out there to distribute Pan America through us without having to have Pan America presence. Yeah, two more. Yeah.
How do you keep up with like the inventory per machine, like for quality control?
Yeah. So since all of the ingredients are let's say stocked up at a certain time, and the quantity is also keyed in, and you know how much of each ingredient went into every bowl, we know how much is left in every canister. We make this available to our partners so that they could make a decision on when to stock it back up, or if they want to stock it back up in the first place, right? Sometimes they might be okay with a certain dish not being available, rather than investing time to take the machine down, stock up the canister, and get it back up and running. So it's left up to them, but we give the visibility, real-time visibility to every ingredient and its quantity available. And there was one more.
How do you ensure that the food is at the right temperature?
Yeah.
Like fresh and it's
Right. So most of this is the desired state is pre-programmed in the system as part of the recipe. The chef calls out what temperature a certain ingredient has to be taken to while serving it to the consumer. And we have thermal cameras and a few other ways to monitor whether we are meeting the quality expectation or not. And in fact, when we don't meet the quality expectation, we could even instantly do a partial refund, full refund, or discard the bowl as the right thing to do for the customer might be in the scenario. Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So right now it takes about 3.5 hours to stock out, clean everything in a dishwasher, stock everything back in, key in all the data that needs to be keyed in for HACCP compliance, and then put it back in. So 3.5 man-hours of preparation. But all of this need not be done at a certain time of the day. It can be done during lean hours, which makes it all the more economical. Because the servicing time and all this preparation time need not be in sync. You could do all of this during your lean time, and you ideally want to make sure that the kiosk is up and running during the peak times. So that way, 3.5 man-hours is a very nominal service time. Thanks.
So that's Zoog.io, and I think we should have a machine here. I mean, while the event is being, and so we all got an invite to your office Friday night, and our dinner is taken care of, right? So if you want to share that QR code, I mean, yeah, send it to me, and after this, I'll probably put it on the meetup.com website as well. Okay, so at the event page. So yeah, great concept, great idea. So thank you for that. And anyone else wants to? Oh, there's one person.
Five weeks ago, I was an officer in the United States Marine Corps, and I got recruited to come to Austin. So I bought a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, and that qualifies me as a resident now. Hoorah, as they say. So in the Marine Corps, it's one of the largest organizations in the world. You have 200,000 employees. You have a tremendous amount of data that all those employees are creating that goes into a document somewhere or a system or a database and then dies. And it doesn't get updated continuously. And there's no way to query and there's no way to interact with all of that created and dead data. So what we're witnessing right now, obviously everyone in this room is aware of the AI revolution and 1,000 million AI startups are being created. But the way we see it, we see Microsoft created Excel and Word to query data, right? You could punch in numerical data in Excel, you could write documents in Word, and that was like Gen 1. Then Google came along and created a way to search and provide a little bit more context to the data, and we called that the information age. That was information. But with AI, there's the ability to go one step above information and create knowledge, right? It's contextualized information. The problem is most of the data to go and train these models and create knowledge is locked away, not on the internet, like what OpenAI or some of these private deals are training on, but in some random server in the military somewhere that Lance Corporal so-and-so created, and that has the key piece of information that we need. So the current company that we're building, we have about 30 engineers, got recruited by the CEO that's been working on this problem for a really long time. It's technically in stealth mode, so there's no official name, so it's just sort of a stealth company. Basically builds these data connectors to allow some of these large language models or allow some of these new AI interfaces to access that deep institutional data that you can't get to in the military, in the Texas State House over there, in some random news organization, in some massive bureaucracy that knows that AI is a thing but doesn't really know how to interact with it, and knows that ChatGPT is cool but doesn't know how to get like random interns' documents into the system in an efficient way. So that's the broad pitch. We are actively about to close a round that we just raised and are recruiting any engineers. So if there's any software-centric engineers, my boss is a big semiconductor guy, but if there's any software-centric engineers here in Austin, we are actively recruiting and trying to find people. So there we go. Hit me. Yeah, it's a good question. It's the software to be able to go grab said data and do that sort of human input, right? So if in the military, if I needed a report on one of my Marines somehow, right? I have to go into the system, I have to query it, I have to type it in. It would be like some random report. I'd probably be pulling it from a file somewhere. That whole process, which could take minutes, maybe even seconds, right, is still a really painful process that I would then chuck into an AI thing. So it would be the software to allow me to say, hey, I need Lance Corporal X's health records and plop this into this specific AI model because it's going to be the best reader of it. And now I can query and understand and have the knowledge of what happened to Lance Corporal X. There'll be large bureaucracies. So that's a good point that we try to figure out. It could be a government entity like, the actual government, but also any big, we have a few customers already that are like, so the power companies, right? Big banks, like big collections of people, all these big names have so much crazy bureaucracy around. The government's the best one for that, the best example. The military probably takes the lead there. Those are our sort of customer use case to really go in there and be able to hit. Yeah.
If you do go into the government space, how is your AI going to deal with security clearances?
Yeah, it's super good question. It's a really important thing. Like, I'm sure there's just public news that was released. Like the CIA now officially has like an AI model that they're working on, right? So for us, that's super hairy. We don't want to touch any of the classified stuff. Like I was an intelligence officer. I don't want to do any of that. That's like, it'll take 10 years to get in there, right? You want to do all like the boring stuff, like the human health records, which actually isn't boring because health records are also protected. I know. No, but the stuff that's like, the fitness reports, like the performance report, all the back end, non-Intel, Intel's always like the sexy stuff. It's sort of like the management of the organization. There's a lot of productivity loss there, just accessing all of that data and getting it in the right place. It's a good question though. Yes. Yeah, it's a great point. And like privacy and trust is going to be you look at the public AI companies like OpenAI, right? Like right now, OpenAI is in discussions with Apple to make your texts potentially AI-ified, if you think about it, right? There are definitely certain texts I have on there I don't really want AI-ified, right? Or, the company that's going to win this space, and this is one of the reasons why maybe some of the large players are going to have a problem, like Facebook or Google, that doesn't always get the perfect perception, is do they have trust built with the consumer to give certain data, right? Do I want my health record given into some model that then gets trained on? And the answer is no. I probably don't want my personal health record trained on some larger thing. So you need to create a platform that is truly trusted by your users, right? That would be more of a consumer-facing thing. Now, when you join the military, for example, you surrender certain rights, right? So like my health record is sitting in some government database somewhere, like, and the government could pull that health record at any time to do what they needed to do when I was in uniform, right? So, no, you cannot. Yeah, it's not going out to the public, exactly. So it would be an internal employee, like, so again, if one of my guys, for example, had an issue, I could pull that because I legally had the authority and we trusted the system and it was internal, but it wouldn't be public for like the common person to be able to pull that. Yeah, that's another good question. We're focused only US customers so far. You know, GDPR is a more restrictive protocol, and we look at different geographies as different terrains. Like GDPR is hard, right? They're more protective in Europe over data privacy and rights. And frankly, and this is a little political or policy oriented, it's like, my personal view is the US, it's good to have regulation and policy around these things because you don't want them to go crazy, but you don't want to restrict massively because we need the innovation right now to keep growing. And you could argue some of the GDPR European stuff is a little bit too restrictive comparatively. And then obviously we know great power competition with China, you know, we're sort of competing there. So you would argue you want all this innovation coming from all these grassroots startups here in the US. So we're not in Europe yet. I don't think we'll be in ever, but yeah. It's funny I said healthcare because like healthcare again will be like the least thing I want to touch, right? But no, again, so the short answer is in these organizations. So again, the main product right here. We're not a healthcare app. We're not focused. Healthcare is just a good example of something. I'm much more interested in like an HR report or something more benign, right? Because that's not the best way to go when you go to the DoD and say I'm going to mess with healthcare now. It's again like all the alarm bells go off that you're asking. All that being said, when you're in these organizations, there's a big difference between owning the data and just piping it to somewhere else, right? So if the organization gives rights to some model or gives rights to somewhere else, I'm not owning any of the data. I don't hold it. I don't have to necessarily deal with it. I'm just piping it to whatever that endpoint is, or I'm piping it to that front UI that is the actual model, right? We're going to sit on top of the model, not actually own the data and run anything on it, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's a great question, right? Yeah. So so what becomes interesting is when you start to need to create these pipes that are internal and external, right? It's when, okay, so I also want to integrate like stuff that goes on the news, or there's another organization, right? So think of like how an API in the software world works. Like how do organizations, like what about knowledge APIs between organizations? If we're partnering with each other in an organization. Yeah, I'm never going to bring up health again. That was good feedback. Health is too small, too big, too difficult. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah, it has to be washed and clean, and that's one of the. So we built this on top of a vector database that has embeddings that allows the models to be worked on faster, but B, that it's not. You're not always pulling the raw data itself. You can pull a base layer and abstracted layer on top of it. Yeah, that works on top of it. But yeah. Yes.
Primarily try to give data to the RAG model, or do you actually, give the data to, adjust some weights and biases, or into the training? So you kind of block it before it trains?
Yeah, it's a great. So am I feeding it directly to the model to do? Because we're doing RAG, absolutely. But are you feeding it directly to the model to do RAG? Is that the question, or is it? So yes. So yes, your data that would not be RAG'd. The data that could not be RAG'd before could now be RAG'd, if you can use that as a verb, right? Because it's sitting somewhere. I could do anything on the open internet, but 98% of the world's data is not on the open internet. It's not accessible. It's not AI-able right now, right? It's not searchable. So that's the whole point. All that data that's sitting in your desktop file in your work computer, right, or in your whatever drive in your work computer needs to be able to be piped into these systems to help RAG out that much more. And those are the pipes that need to be built in this next generation of sort of knowledge. Yeah. Thank you.
What's the name of the company? Oh. So that the company is still in stealth. So once you launch it, let us know. We'll be. Oops. I thought I had like the QR code somewhere here. Give me 1 second. Oh, there it is. Okay. I want to. Okay, that's okay. So this is the QR code for our Friday night dinner party. So, so those who want to have a robot make your meal on Friday night, yeah, we'll all assemble there. And we are at 7:45. So one thing we'll do, is, or one thing I can say is that it's been a real pleasure seeing all these great companies and great founders with different, great ideas and things that they're solving, and each of them solves a different part of the human equation, right? I mean, we're all going to be using those products for some of the other reason for increasing our productivity or making our life easier and things like that. So, there's a lot of great work and effort that goes into building these products and services. So we've heard of all these product names and companies. So just to recap, I'll just tell the name of the companies and things like that again. So that way you have a full list of companies that you can go home with and maybe use it, sign up to, try them out, and then if you don't like them, don't go to the App Store and rate them, and just give the founder some feedback. And if you like them, yeah, rate it, and then share it with your friends and family, and that'll help the founders. And also, don't forget the feedback. So I think coming back from here, I think Zook is Zook.io is the robotic meal maker, and then we have Ship Maestro, right? Ship Maestro for the workflow and e-commerce efficiencies, right? And then we had I forget Vida Lingua, yeah. So Vida Lingua, the translator app, or a collection of translator apps, and let's see, we have there was one Lead Nitro, yeah, Lead Nitro, the automation lead automation application, and then we had did I miss anyone here? Rangel Media, videography. Yep, awesome. And then we have Doxa and Dispatch It is the software, and Doxa is the transportation company. And then we have the Fair Ads. Okay, Fair Ads app is also on iOS and App Store. So awesome. Oh, sorry, and Longhorn Laundry. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I forgot to scan this version. Okay, sorry. But yeah, all of them, wonderful companies, some local companies, and these are all people that live with us. So let's encourage them and also give some feedback. And then, with that said, you all, come here for a reason. You may want to, look at some great companies or have some great networking or talk to, great people, but not always, you don't always come here to, listen to me speaking. So I cannot guarantee the content of the meetups all the time. But one thing I can guarantee is that when you come here, you may find at least one person that you have not met before you came through this door. So before you go out, don't forget that the one thing that you can take away from this meetup that no one can stop you from is making a new connection, and then you can still have great conversations beyond this room and beyond the today. And so 8 o'clock is when the doors close. So I would say we'll slowly start going out, after I conclude, and then we can still stay in the lobby and have those conversations and connections. So thank you all for coming today and sharing with us all the great things that you do. Thank you.
So we are completely new to this. So we want to start from somewhere.